In present-day Italy, in its capital Rome, there is a sovereign city-state known as Vatican City. It's a country within a city, occupying only 0.44 square kilometers, making it the smallest country in the world. Vatican City is the center of the Catholic Church, with the Pope as its ruler. Although it's just a tiny enclave now, during the Middle Ages, the Papal States were a significant entity in central Italy. Their origins trace back to the 8th century, when Frankish King Pepin the Short granted a large tract of land in central Italy to the Pope of Rome. This donation soon led to the formation of the Papal States. Going back to 511 AD, Clovis, the founder of the Frankish kingdom, passed away. He had eagerly hoped for sons during his life, but lamented having too many at his death. He had 4 sons. Fearing that his sons would cause civil strife over succession, he divided his kingdom into 4 parts, one for each son. At that time, the Franks did not practice primogeniture. The separated territories still functioned as one nation. The Merovingian dynasty, founded by Clovis, lasted for 241 years, with 28 kings. Following Clovis's tradition, each king upon death divided his kingdom among his sons. During the later period of the Merovingian dynasty, the kings became known as do-nothing kings due to their laziness. They neglected state affairs, immersing themselves in Christianity or indulging in beauties and wine, and the real power gradually shifted to the mayors of the palace. Originally, the mayors were stewards of the kingdom, merely servants of the king. However, due to their unique position, they gradually took over important responsibilities, controlling not only internal affairs, but also the military, reducing the king to a mere puppet. By 737 AD, Charles Martel became the sole mayor of the palace of the Frankish kingdom, wielding complete control. Charles Martel was a man of great ability and strategy. At this time, Europe faced the threat of Arab invasion. Charles Martel raised an army to resist, and in the Battle of Tours defeated the invading Arabs. This victory greatly enhanced Charles Martel's reputation. After his death, as was customary, he divided the kingdom between his 2 sons, Carloman and Pepin. Carloman was a devout Christian who, after a few years, renounced his rule and entered a monastery. Thus, the entire Frankish kingdom fell into Pepin's hands. This Pepin is historically known as Pepin the Short. At this time, the Frankish kingdom was nominally ruled by the Merovingian dynasty founded by Clovis, with Pepin serving as the mayor of the palace. Pepin understood that to legitimately ascend to the throne, he needed the church's support. Coincidentally, the Pope in Rome was being harassed by the Lombards from the north and desperately hoped that Pepin would help drive the Lombards out of papal territories. Both parties, having mutual needs, struck a deal. In 751, Pepin sent envoys to meet the Pope. After meeting the Pope, the envoys intriguingly asked, "Who should be king? The one with real power, or the one who claims to be king but has none?" The Pope immediately grasped the implication, but pretended to ponder before answering. The one who wields real power should be king, rather than a figurehead without any actual authority. After the Pope's response was conveyed to Pepin, he was overjoyed and immediately convened a meeting of the nobility at Soissons. There, Pepin relayed the Pope's message to the assembly. Consequently, he was smoothly elected king by the nobles. In accordance with Germanic tribal custom, the nobles banged their shields and cheered, lifting Pepin on their shields as a sign of support. The Pope even sent a special envoy to conduct Pepin's coronation, marking the first time in history that a pope crowned a king. Pepin then tonsured the last Merovingian king, turning him into a monk. Thus began a new dynasty, the Carolingian dynasty, starting in 751 AD. With the support of the Pope, Pepin ascended to the throne as King of the Franks. He didn't forget to repay the Pope. Between 754 and 756, he twice led expeditions into Italy, defeating the Lombards and recapturing the invaded territories. To express his gratitude for the Pope's support in his ascent to power, Pepin generously donated these territories to the Pope, an act known in history as the Donation of Pepin. This laid the foundation for the creation of the Papal States in central Italy, the precursor to the modern Vatican City. However, this donation sparked protests from the Eastern Roman Empire. The Eastern Roman Empire, based in Constantinople, saw itself as the rightful successor to the ancient Roman Empire and criticized the move, arguing that the central Italian territories should be returned to Byzantium. To legitimize his claim to the territories, the Pope astonishingly forged a letter from the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great. This supposed 4th century letter claimed that Constantine had developed leprosy and was told by court priests that he could only be cured by bathing in the blood of children. Unwilling to harm innocent children, Constantine refrained. He then dreamt of God telling him that only baptism into Christianity would cure him. He decided to try it and summoned the Bishop of Rome to baptize him. As he plunged into the baptismal pool, a hand appeared from the sky, surrounded by divine light, reaching out to him. As he emerged, he was cured of his leprosy. Consequently, Constantine decided to generously reward the Roman Church, moved his capital to Byzantium, and entrusted the Roman region to the Bishop of Rome's jurisdiction. At the time, the Pope didn't actually produce a written letter from Constantine. He merely claimed its existence verbally to deceive the Eastern Roman Empire. Later, a forged letter was produced. Unaware of the deception, the Eastern Roman Empire had no choice but to lament in the face of this fabricated document known as the Donation of Constantine. Thus, Pepin's donation, combined with the forged Donation of Constantine, laid the foundation for the Papal States. It wasn't until the Renaissance that the Italian scholar Lorenzo Valla, through careful examination, unveiled this historical mystery. Valla discovered that the supposed 4th century letter was written in the Latin of the 9th century, filled with barbarian terminology and Germanic language. He pointed out that during Constantine's reign, Latin was flourishing, and it was improbable for a document from that era to contain barbaric expressions. Clearly, the letter was a forgery, crafted by the Pope to deceive the world.